Hello, welcome to the Critical Obsession podcast. My name is Mirella,
And I'm Zoe.
and today we're going to watch and talk about episode 3 of Vice Versa.
So it's really funny because now I don't know if things reset. I don't think they do, but like I'm just looking at the files for all the clips for episode 3, and someone has handily put vice versa into a playlist, and so I'm just looking
Mhm,
at them. And like
mhm,
in YouTube, when you've watched something, you see the red line underneath it.
mhm.
I don't have any red lines for anything beyond episode 2. So I
Oh,
thought I had watched like several episodes of this, and now I'm thinking maybe I only watched the first 2 episodes. And
maybe
then
you
and
saw some things on Twitter.
maybe, I don't know, because I kind of remember some stuff, but I don't know now whether or not it's to do with this or not. And the only thing I can think of is that I'm sure I watched like 5 or 6 episodes. Like I'm almost like positive. Well, when I say watch, slept through 5 or 6 episodes.
Drink up,
um,
guys.
yeah, drink up. That's right. Um, so I don't know, unless we watched it through Discord or something, and like how you can share the
Hmm.
screen. Maybe we
Hmm.
did that, and my friend hosted or something. But I don't know, because it was like it was one of those things, like where you do an exchange with a friend where they watch something you want to watch, you watch something they want to watch. And usually when it's something that you're hosting, you're the one who usually like streams it, if that's what you're going to do. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. So, it's one of two things. Either I've been lying to myself all of this time and I've actually only watched 2 episodes, um, or yeah, I just really don't remember. I guess we'll watch it and we'll see if any of this,
We'll see.
if any
Yeah,
of it shakes any memories loose or anything. But
yeah. I'm also curious.
yeah, or maybe it's just that at the time when I watched the first 2 episodes, I was like so not into it that it just felt like it went forever. Instead of like actually being 6 episodes, it just felt like 6 episodes to me.
It does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Happened to me. I was
Yeah,
watching something with a friend and I just, oh,
if you're not into
it
it or
was long.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at this and I don't know. I'm like so curious to know the lengths of these episodes versus other shows, because I've got, as I said, I can see like all the parts of episodes. This is such a random thing to talk about, but it's interesting to me. I can see all the like parts for episode 3, and like the first part's 17 minutes, and the other consecutive 3 parts are like 14 minutes plus, which is a lot.
Which is great for
You know,
me.
but like I but like I'm just thinking about like when we were watching Not Me, and it's like 9 minutes, 8 minutes, and I'm like want to cry because I'm like I know it's good and I've seen it and I know it's all like it all works and everything, but I'm like, why isn't there more? And then this is so much. So like, I mean, it's just interesting to me because I this episode, it seems a lot. Like I don't remember seeing shows where it's quite so many minutes. Like I can't
It
math that.
also depends on how long the intro is because they have an intro for every part and
True.
also commercials. So, and
Yeah,
this one
that's
has
right.
lots of commercials.
Yeah, that's right. There is a lot. It's like
Yeah.
so maybe part 3 or 4 really is only like 8 minutes, but it's got like four
Hmm.
minutes of like promos.
It's possible.
And like
Okay.
4 minutes of product placement. Oh, totally off topic. People are gonna hate us, but totally off topic. You really need to watch the Lycan music video that I was talking to you about with the product placement in it, just because product placement is a huge part of this show. I showed it to my mom yesterday and she just about wet her pants. It is the funniest thing ever. Everybody, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really funny. In about the 22nd point of the music video, I think the song's called Charm. The song's okay, but it's just like it's so funny because you're watching it, it's like a music video, and then suddenly it's a commercial for OSG drinks.
If you're gonna do that, then I'm gonna say, people, if you haven't, go watch Flirting Syndrome.
Oh yeah, Jimmy
Flirting
C's new song.
by Jimmy C because it's so cute and the music video is amazing. It's amazing. It gives off the vibe of like 2000s romantic movies. It's very interesting, and it reminds me of a movie maybe someone saw it, just like Heaven. And they're just so cute. And at first I listened to it and I got obsessed with the music video. And the song was like, okay, it's all right. It's not something that I'd listen to normally. It doesn't bother me. I can listen to it just to watch the video, and then it just stuck. It got stuck.
Now you
It
just
got
love
stuck.
it. Yeah.
And now I'm just waiting for it to appear on Spotify. I'm like, "Ah, where is it?"
I know. I was like that earlier with something. There was one of the songs that from one of the shows. What was it? Cooking Crush. The one of the songs from Cooking Crush, and I was like, it's not on Spotify. And then it
Mm.
was on Spotify, and I calmed down. After I was able to listen to it in the car, I calmed down a bit. But yeah, it's funny. I don't know. GMM have the power of that. I feel like this. They often put songs out, and I think it's all right. And then the next thing I know, I'm like singing it at the top of my lungs as best I can, like a crazy person,
Oh
assuming no one
yeah,
is watching.
yeah. The intro song from Dangerous Romance
Yeah.
has such an effect on me that every time I hear it, I want to cry.
Really? Do you mean
Yeah,
Dangerous Rose or Last Twilight?
Dangerous Romance, the
Really?
one that Perth sings. Yeah,
Really? It makes you want to cry? What does it make you want to
yeah.
cry?
I don't know. It's what's funny with me. I don't cry at sad songs. Happy songs make me cry. The
Yeah. Well,
happier, the harder I cry.
I mean, that song though is very like it's very interesting anyway. If you
Hmm.
put it in the context of like what actually happens in the show and that, because he's all like in the song like we don't have to be official, blah 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 blah. But in the
Hmm.
show, he's like, "Grr, my boyfriend."
I think we talked about the fact that this song might actually be from Salom's point of view at some
Yeah,
point of the
yeah.
story.
It's a very interesting song anyway. As I said, they're kind of clever sometimes with these GMM songs. They really get you. So, and now I'm curious because I don't remember. I'm assuming there would have been songs for vice versa. Yeah.
Oh, there are songs for vice versa, and you
Because I'm
gradually fall in love with them.
Yeah, because I'm thinking I don't know if I remember. I don't know if I've heard them or recognize them or whatever. So that might be something we might have to tack on to the end of an episode sometime. We might have to check out the music videos, but
Oh, I
um.
haven't watched the music videos. I'm scared. I saw some screenshots from the music video on Twitter. I'm like, can I handle it?
I'm like, come on, you're leading this crazy adventure. You have to be strong, be brave. But that's not
Yeah.
what we're doing today. What we're doing today is watching episode 3 and part 1 of 4. Should we get to it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Part one. So they made me sad, and I went looking for chocolate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I It was interesting to me how in the beginning Pum was like super negative and like very pessimistic about getting home, like he actually cared.
Mm.
um and Tale was the one who was like really calm and just like let's see what happens. It was like they'd switch. It was like Freaky Friday, they'd switch bodies.
I
Not only
didn't
have
see
they traveled
it that
across
way.
universes, but they've also switched bodies. No, it was
Let's
just
see it that way.
no, well, it was just interesting because we know that Pum wasn't happy in his old life. So,
Hmm.
you know, um and then
His
he
real personality shows up here. Probably the way he is about things, pessimistic and just not caring, not thinking that something actually deserves the effort,
mm, and
that there
then
is something worthy effort.
yeah.
But let's start
Um
at the beginning. So they're at the association
mhm.
and they're talking, and it happens, I guess, right after they find each other in the maze. And You'd think after the last episode that they would be having a conversation, something like, "Oh, so I guess we're each other's Porkies. Yay! We're so happy we found each other. I guess it's really us. I knew right from the start, right from the moment I saw you. And yes, me too. Oh, I love you forever." No, Tade says it sounds too much like a fantasy. So it's too romantic and beautiful, and it depends too much on the feelings, which he cannot rely on because he does not trust them. And he's not a romantic, he's very skeptical, and he cannot accept this idea based on this fantastical maze thing. It makes it less believable to him, so he cannot accept it. So it makes Pun frustrated because I feel like Pun is someone who would like to believe in something like that. He does want a magical solution like this.
Mm.
So
He
he
seems
responds
more
with,
he seems more emotional.
yeah, and so he's like, this is too fantastical, this is a
I like
fantasy and
he's like,
traveling.
we literally traveled universes. Like, what is your? He's like, what is your benchmark for, like, you know, too
Yeah.
much? Because
So now Tale feels like he has to fight back because he does not have a very reasonable response when it comes to his feelings. And so he distances himself from them. This is his reaction. We see the nurse. They got a call from the girls, and the girls had good news. They clicked. And so the nurse approaches the guys, and they're like, "And are you two not clicking at all?" And Tale responds in his skeptical way. He feels the need to push Boone away from himself, so he instead uses the word kick. And he switches to the topic about the system. So he's looking for data, he's looking for something that he can actually believe. So he asks, does it mean that the matching system isn't reliable? He's looking for a realistic answer for numbers. The nurse explains to him that the system is not precise. It can only give them a hint or help them find someone that might be their portkey. And this is actually like looking for a soulmate.
because the only way they know for sure is when they have the dream, right?
Yes. So they tell the guys that you need to follow your heart, which is a problem for Tele.
Well,
And then,
it's a problem for Pun as well, because later on he's like really frustrated and he says, "What does that even mean?"
what does that even mean when you follow your heart and nothing happens
Mm.
and you're being pushed back? Don't you think he is following his heart already?
I feel like because when she says that, he pulls a face. Like, I feel like just because he is someone who's emotional and who leads in that leans in that direction, doesn't mean that he's ever gotten anything good from it. So, like, people who are like that are more. So he's not skeptical in the same way that Tale is, but in his own way, like, he is over everything, kind of, because
Yeah.
you might imagine, and I don't know if this is the case or not, because obviously I haven't seen the whole lot of the show or whatever, or even if we find this out, but you might find that potentially, he followed his heart to become an actor or whatever, and for whatever reason it didn't make him happy. He's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's not always going to, like, it's a pretty sentiment, but it doesn't always, like, give you a payoff. So
Yeah.
he he's somebody who, what, potentially, like, leans in that direction of being more emotional, of, like, perhaps being having the potential to follow his heart more readily than, say, someone like Tale, who is, like, super skeptical and doesn't believe in love and everything. But it doesn't necessarily mean that in the past he's had any success in that. So for someone to say that to him in such a, like, positive and cheery kind of fashion, like, this is the
Mhm.
solution, for someone who is perhaps skeptical, maybe in on now because of past, like, emotional, trauma or trying to follow your heart or like whatever. Um, that's to me seems to be his reaction, because when she says it, he like physically kind of like is like ugh, like he has a
Hmm.
facial expression that is like, and then later on when they're talking, that's his kind of, when he's frustrated, he's like, what does that even mean? Like, because
Yeah,
clearly whatever he's
there's
been doing in the past hasn't worked for him.
yeah, there are so many conditions. It's difficult to match someone. There's no way to guarantee something that Tale wants. So he's discouraged.
Mm,
No way to be sure if you're going to into the right direction, or if you're just doing something that will lead you to the same failure, um, same situation you were in that made you unhappy.
mm. And it's interesting
And
too
then
that the concept of them having to get back is to find somebody who, for whatever reason, they liken it to a what do you call it, a soulmate. And so
Mhm.
like a soulmate, you can have a platonic soulmate, you can have a romantic soulmate, it doesn't have to be romantic, but the way she's talking about it definitely makes is romanticizing it, that's for sure. So
Mhm.
the idea that, for this to work, you have to have that connection with the person, and like that's not easy, and now you've gone to another world and it's like even more complicated. It's gonna be frustrating.
Yeah, and then he asks the question, why do I have to do it?
Mm,
Because since he appeared, he just went along with whatever was going on. And then Tale appeared in his life, and Tale basically told him, well, look, here are the rules. Here's what people do in this situation. You are supposed to do this. But then it's not that simple either. And it's not easy to follow those rules. And even if you do, it's not like it's going to um, work well for you. So why does he even have to try? Can he just not? Can't he just stay there?
and I mean, I think the other thing is from Pun's point of view as well, is he's got to get to the point too where like there's a reason he's there in the first place, so like it's so difficult to get back, and what is he going back to?
Hmm.
Like, why would you try that hard to go back to something that you were desperately trying to get away from?
And Tele, I love this dynamic that we see here. And remember, we were talking in the last episode how Pun asked him, "Who do I go to if I have problems?" And Tele answers, "To me." And you are very skeptical about Tele answering this. But here in the first part, we see multiple times how Tele actually took that thing seriously. He
Mm,
actually decided to be that person for Pun. Even if he doesn't necessarily believe that he is his portkey, he does want to help him. So Pun is stressed, and Tale now becomes the soft spoken, um, calming person. He becomes the someone that Pun can rely on, and he's trying to make him feel better,
mm,
and he's trying to help him. So he says, "Live your life to the fullest in the meantime." And
yes.
then Pun asks, "Why do I feel like you're letting it go?" And when he says that, I was like, "Why do I feel like he actually meant letting me go?"
Mm,
And he didn't like that. And Chalet basically says that he's not letting it go. He's just going to continue living and looking for an answer. And
mm.
he says, "I should focus on studying and helping you with the movie." Helping you with the movie. Why? Why would be his reason? Just because he wants to help him. Just because, basically, because he liked him and he really wants to be there for him.
Yeah,
So
I
when.
think as well it factors into though as well, and this is not so much me being skeptical in the past podcast about him offering this. What I was saying was is whether or not he actually knew what he was getting into when he offered it is what I was referring to. And in this as well, like this, you can romanticize it and say he wants to help him, but like he's going, okay, we have to live our best life. We have to do that. Well, part of that is him working for he. is saying like, let's do this, and the best possible way for him to move on and to try and settle in, so to speak, and look for opportunities to get back or whatever, is to live Tessa's life. And part of Tessa's life is to work for the father, and working for the father means doing film stuff, and helping Pum with his film is a logical response to that. So while I'm not saying he's not offering to help because he wants to help, like, but it's also, there's probably a bit of selfish motivation in it too, because that's the pathway that he sees, like, that fits his agenda. So
Actually, I feel like maybe it's not. On the contrary, I feel like this is a justification that he can use to explain to himself why he spent so much time with Boone. Oh, it's because I work for my father. I must do movie stuff, so I must help him. When in reality, he just wants to be there for him.
well, I'm not saying that that's not part of it, but I just don't think it's all of it. I think it's more complicated than that, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I agree that it is complicated. And so Boone asks in a very theatrical way, like, what if we spend time together and we turn out to be each other's sport keys? And the way he asks it is like he's becoming the actor guy. He's not. He puts on a mask when he asks
Oh
that.
yeah, straight away he goes from like anger to flirty teasing
Hmm.
really quickly.
Yeah, and he gets into Tale's personal space, like he's trying to make him feel uncomfortable. I feel like that is a very vulnerable thing that he just did. He asked a question, the answer to which is very important to him, and he's trying to hide it.
Mm.
But Tale responds in a very sincere and direct and soft way that if it's you, I'm okay with it, which
Mm.
disarms him. And so he kind of has to have to step back, and he answers honestly as well that he would also be okay with it.
Mm. Like after that, when they like make this agreement that they're okay with it, and that this is their plan moving forward, and they shake hands.
Hmm.
They stood there holding hands, mm, way longer than's probably considered normal social interaction. Um,
They're doing a lot of things that are not just not normal things that two bros do together, or partners that work on a movie. They're doing boyfriend stuff.
well, I mean, it's not even that. It's just like who shakes hands, and like the handshaking part is actually stopped at a certain point. You're just standing there holding hands, right? Um, which amused me. And then we went into the credits, and of course, I had to watch the first like bit of the credits until I got to see Jimmy in his suspenders, and then I fast forwarded the rest of it. Um, and
Yeah,
till we got to the title of this episode, which is Soft Blush, and I just went, ah, the pink is coming,
yeah,
the
type
pink
of
of
thing.
it.
But
Yeah.
also before that, Tele says, "Let's live the best life we can in this universe," and it's basically Tele's mantra through this whole series. This is what he does.
Well, I think
And
there's
also,
a part. I think there's a part of him as well that is like deep down hoping that if he, in while he's improving potentially Tessa's life, that Tess is also doing the same for him and not fucking everything up.
yeah, this is his philosophy basically.
Mm.
He wants to do things or act with people the way he wants them to act with him. Like he would not do something to other people that he would not want to be done to him. This is
Yeah.
his way of being. Yeah, and so, the thing that I researched, I counted 10 sponsors in the intro. Like there was a moment there were like 10 sponsors, and I was curious, so I went to watch the intro for Not Me, and there was 6.
Mm. Yeah.
And I was curious about other series. I went to watch the Dangerous Romance intro, The Last Twilight, but it's not clear with them. They only have like 1 or 2, but I'm pretty sure it cannot be that. There are
Well,
more.
it's
So
yeah, there's probably more, but it's really funny. Like I remember um like with Not Me, there was definitely less than most shows, I think, but there were a couple that they had that are big like big time sponsors. So like I think Suzuki was one, for
Mhm.
example, and the drink like Oishi or whatever, that's another big one. Um, and they always have Sang Sang. They're always like very supportive. But it's interesting that you're talking about that because I remember I watched the Taiwanese. This is once again, sorry guys, we're going off track for a second here. But I watched the Taiwanese version of Meteor Garden. Oh, not Meteor Garden. Yes, Meteor
Flowers,
Garden. Yeah, Boys Over Flowers.
boys of.
Um, which was I think F4. I think was what they called it. Or no, what did they call it? Was that the
I think
title?
yeah,
Yeah, it was called
F4.
F4. Yeah. And if you'd have used that one as a like comparison, there's like 50 or something. It's insane the amount of sponsors they had for that show. Um, and I was like, they invested a lot in that show, which was interesting to me because I mean, I got it because there's a lot of like wealth shown in the like in that series. There should be a lot of wealth, like that's part of like the story.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like had so many big ones go before, like other versions, to try and like one up it. Maybe that was one of the reasons why they invested so much in it. I don't really know, but yeah, it's in comparison to like what you see for BLs or something. I've never seen a BL with that many sponsors. Like it was insane the amount of sponsors they had.
Mhm.
And big
They
like
pulled
brand name,
out
like big.
they pulled out the big guns for that one.
They did. Like they had big brand names like designers and all sorts
Uh-huh.
of stuff. And I was just like, I remember watching the first couple of episodes of it and going like, wow, okay, now if we could just get some of this interest in some of the BLs, that would be amazing. Think of what they could do, you know?
Yeah.
So if they invested that much in them. But yeah, so anyway, so back to vice versa. And yeah, so we got Soft Blush is the title, and the use of colors is, we see them, we see Tale outside waiting for Poon to come, and they've both got pink on.
Yeah.
So the use of colors is really good. I like that they do that. There's a few pink tinges in it already, and it's funny because I would love to know. Like I think we spoke about this last episode. I wanted to know what green meant because in that episode there was heaps of green in episode 2,
Mhm.
and I feel like green maybe is a negative color for Tale as well. And the reason why I say that is maybe green isn't a negative color for Tale per se, but maybe it's something like when he witnesses something that makes him uncomfortable or something. I don't know. And the reason why I thought that, because at the very beginning of this episode, just to go back for a second, where they're sitting in the at the association and they're on
Yeah.
the what do you call it, skateboarding ramp or whatever, there's a pink tinge, like the lighting is pink, right?
Mhm.
Like almost like a what you would experience in a sunset or something. And they're bathed in this kind of pinkness, and but then they walk outside the building. The outside of the building is green, like really green, and it's
Mhm.
very dark and it's green. They're wearing green, and they're having this like kind of aggressive, not aggressive, but like uh Poon is like aggressive in his like negativity about
Mhm.
like the process
Yeah.
and all of that. Like it's interesting that they went from this kind of like the nurse is talking about follow your heart and like trying to be positive and all of this sort of stuff, like pink bathed in pink light, they go out and it's kind of negative and it's dark and it's green and it's
Ooh.
whatever. And then the next day when they've agreed to have things be positive, it's pink again.
Yeah, but also in the scene where they're inside the association, the pink light
Mm.
is from Boon's part. It's on Boon's part, isn't it?
I don't remember that specifically, but I just remember that they were kind of bathed in it. Like, oh, you mean from like his kind of direction?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
So I
it's
just
somewhere in the right, and Boon is
yeah,
like he is considered he was ready. Like if Talay was like, okay, so we port keys, Boon would be like, yay, let's go.
yeah.
But Talay acted differently, so then we go back to
He
Green.
became negative. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that's what I'm saying. So I'm interested about the green, like whether like he suddenly saw uh Poon as green, whatever that means. And it's like it fits that episode from last time as well, because there were all those moments where like Tale was hoping for something, and then
Mhm.
it was like a green moment where, like, oh no, this isn't your person, this is your person, and like, all the rest of it. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. It's a shame we didn't actually get a specification. Like, we know, for example, what the blue meant, we know what pink means, so it's a shame we didn't get that. But that was my interpretation of green. So it'd be interesting to see if there's negative moments in the future, if they're colored green in any way.
But he does. We do talk about the green color in the first episode. Doesn't it start with Tale applying um, kind of imaginary lenses onto in the interview when they're in an interview, and he
Mm-hmm.
imagines like this would be oh, he says like for sad scenes the sky doesn't have to be blue. I just opened the scene. It can be green, and he
Yeah.
imagines that there's like green lightning everywhere.
There you go. So it's negative. So that's interesting then. So yeah, so I'm like, let's challenge ourselves
Hmm.
to pay attention in the future. If there are negative scenes involving the two of them, are they in green places? Are they wearing green?
I feel like it depends, just because with any color it can mean different things. For example, red can be something for love, for passion, but at the same time it can be some violence and aggression. So
Mm.
for me, in the last episode, green meant hope in certain moments, but in this episode at the beginning it clearly meant something bad. It clearly
Mm.
wasn't negative, had
Well,
negative connotations.
I think there were lots of moments in the last episode though where they were both disappointed. I felt like
Hmm.
Green was negative in that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious though. I mean, it may not be like this once a bit again could just be something that I'm reading into it. I'm just curious to see if that's something that we see in future episodes,
Yeah,
because obviously there's
let's
going to
check.
be some sort of conflict at some point. So I'm like, is it going to be green? Like, what is the color? Like, how is this scene colored? Because I
Or
feel
maybe
like the
blue.
way they,
Because
yeah,
he also mentioned in first episode, because his color for sadness is ocean blue
blue. Mm-mm. So maybe the green isn't
and
Tale's.
loneliness
Yeah, maybe the blue isn't. Sorry, maybe the green isn't Tale's color. Maybe it's Poon's color
for
of
sadness.
sadness and
Oh,
anger,
maybe that's interesting.
disappointment.
Yeah, and frustration.
Mm.
That's an interesting thought. I really like it.
So yeah,
Good
so
job, Zoe.
let's keep it let's keep an eye out, because I'm super curious to know. And wouldn't it be interesting if they're having a negative scene together where they're both hurt or something, if there is blue and green?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, yes,
Yes.
let's watch it now. So yeah, so anyway, as I said, the use of colors is good. It's interesting. I'm now inspired to keep an eye out for that.
It is
um
creative. Mm-hmm.
Mm. And they seem to be paying attention to that. So
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
hoping I'm hoping that they do follow it through, and if we do have those moments, we see that, because like that will be really cool, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he tells him as well. They're going to look at cafes for the movie script for the main character to hang out
They're
in.
so cute. Like the way Poon is teasing Tale when he arrives to pick him up, and it's just like, ah. Do you realize you look like boyfriends?
We've lost her, everybody. I'm like, moving on. And then so they're in a cafe, and the food gets put down on the table, and I'm sorry, but like C's reaction to the like kind
Pink.
of a little bit pink yogurt is hilarious. He's just like pulls this face like it's the most revolting thing that's just been put down in front of him. Purely and simply because it's like pale pink in
Yeah.
color.
He does not believe in romantic stuff, and pink,
But this
obviously.
strawberry yogurt is innocent, right? I just love how he's like, I don't like pink. And Poon is just
Well,
like,
while
what
wearing
about your
pink pants.
pants? He's like, have you looked at your pants? Because they're pretty pink.
Oh,
Um,
and then we hear Poon's mantra, or maybe not mantra, but something that he like. he thinks a lot of something that is meant to represent his character, or something that we might are meant to tie to his character. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes, and you know what? I thought this was really an interesting line as well, because considering they don't actually know what the other person really looks like, and this
Hmm.
is discussed in this scene, but like they literally have no idea.
Hmm.
So on like um surface value, they can't judge each other in that respect, because even like if you get attached to somebody, even if you're attracted to the person, you know, I would feel like in this situation, when you know that the outside of like the shell is not the person, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like you would be less inclined to get attached to the shell,
Yeah.
because you know you're more inclined to get to know, you know, the inner person, and you
Yeah,
know
you
be
are
attracted
aware.
to the, yeah, you'd be more attracted to them, like their personality versus what they
Yeah.
look like, because
Hmm.
what they look like is like could be completely different, could change at any
Hmm.
moment.
Hmm.
And so it's a really interesting concept of when he's like, don't judge a book by its cover, because they literally can't do that.
Yeah.
um Whereas, like in real life, it's really hard to separate the two for a lot of people. I mean, most people, like a lot of people can, you know,
Hmm.
but in a lot of situations, sometimes people will get, you know, judge people not necessarily by how they look, like in terms of like, are they, you know, pretty or whatever, you know, like not that, but just like if you see someone and they look super sketchy, you might judge them in a harsh way. Like you might be, you know, whatever. Like I like when I first moved to London, because I lived in London for a while. When I first moved to London, I remember like before I went over there, everyone kept going, "Oh, it's super dangerous," and blah blah blah. And I'm not saying it's not, but I never really experienced that. I had one moment of like actual fear for my safety, and I was catching like the last late bus home from being like hanging out with a friend, and there this like really shady looking guy, you know, looked like he would probably sell his grandmother for a quarter, like for like, you know, for you know, some drugs or something, got on the bus and was staring at me in the most like intently and creepy way, and I was like so weirded out by it.
Hmm.
I definitely judged him by the way he looked, like for
Hmm.
sure. I mean, the way he was looking at me didn't really help, like
Hmm.
because he was looking at me in such like he was full on staring, you know, which is kind of rude, but like it was just I didn't realize like there was a reason for that, but at the time I was just like, you know, and of course I got off the bus and he got off the bus and I'm like walking really really fast, you know, and it's the time difference was, you know, good, so I got my phone out and like started to ring my mom because I mean
Hmm.
like not that she could do anything on the other side of the world, but I was like I need to be talking to somebody if something bad happens.
Hmm.
And so I was like talking to her and she's like, are you okay? And I wasn't letting her know that I was freaked out because I didn't want her to worry, you know, obviously she couldn't, as I said, do anything, but I thought if something bad did happen then she could, you know, alert the authorities or whatever. And so of course I'm walking faster, he's walking faster, I'm getting like more and more freaked out, and he caught up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and just sort of, and I all but like crap my pants.
Uh-huh.
Um, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It just occurred to me that I might be scaring you like this." And I
Uh-huh.
kind of, my mom's still on the phone. I just sort of said to her, "Hang on a minute."
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "I live like one stop down, one stop
Uh-huh.
down." He goes, "I just, I recognized you, and I was pretty sure that you're the one who gets on and like goes to here because like I would go and like do our laundry at a certain place and all that. Like he'd seen me like in the neighborhood."
Mhm.
And he's like, "And I was just worried because it's really late." He said, "So I just wanted to follow you, make sure you got in okay." So
Mhm.
he'd actually got off a full stop earlier to make sure that I got to my door and got inside okay and no one bothered me.
Oh.
Right. So like so I was like, okay, mom, see you later. And so like him and I talked the rest of the way. He said goodbye. And then after that, whenever we would see each other, we would always laugh and, you know, like sit together and talk and stuff. Like he was just a really nice guy. And the
Mhm.
reason why he was staring at me so intently because he was trying to work out if I was the person he thought I was.
Oh.
And yeah, and it was so funny. I ran into him another time when he was with his girlfriend or his wife or something, and she's just like, I'm so sorry. He's such an idiot. Like, because he told me about how he scared the crap out of you. She's like, she said to him, she goes to him, I told him, you're like scary. Like people who don't know you and don't know that you're a big teddy bear are afraid of you, like just because of the way you look. And I felt so horrible because I had
Mm,
totally judged him for the way he looked. And I've always been one of those people who say, oh, don't judge a book by its cover. But I was scared, so sometimes you do that. And but it taught me a very important lesson to, like, not always do that. But then of course, obviously, being a girl on your own out walking alone, I'm not saying don't be, proactive and, look out for yourself. But also I felt so bad about it afterwards. And he would do that, like if he got on, because he used to work a night shift or something, or like a shift work, and so he would finish work around the same time that the last bus went. And so if I would be hanging out with my friend, we'd see each other on the bus. He'd always get off early and walk me home, and then he had like a 20-minute walk to get to his place. But he would still do that because he would make sure that I got home first, which was just, he was just a really nice guy. But yeah, it's one of those things. And so in this instance, as I said, it's really interesting because they literally can't judge each other in that way. It's like Tale can't get like moony eyed over the fact that he's, you know, um, who he is, like that he's that actor, because he
mhm.
can't see that, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to say to someone, oh yeah, I was I was a movie star, or I was this, whatever. It's kind of like, it's just something you're told. it's
Yeah.
not it's not real to you until you actually experience it. Like, I'm sure, like
Until
when they
you
go
tie
back.
it to some experience in your life, and it makes
Yeah,
it real. Yeah.
that's right. And I'm sure, like, when they go back, it's gonna feel real because obviously that changes everything. But like,
Mhm.
in this universe where they are right now, it's just like, oh, you're an actor, how fun. Like, it's not.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I thought it was very interesting, but it's so funny then as well how Tale was like, "Oh, can I guess what you look like?" And that then became like the next and oh my god, his drawing, like, seriously, like it was like Picasso, like so abstract.
Uh-huh.
And it was so funny because Poon was like so offended.
Yes, so he was offended, but Tadej was like, "No, but it looks cute." So he thinks he's cute.
Yeah,
He draw him.
he's like, it looks.
He sees him as
I love that
cute.
he's like, it looks just like you. Like, he knows what.
No, he said it's hideous. It looks just like you. It's hideous.
And he's like, he has no idea, but it's just really funny. And I thought it was interesting as well then how when they were taking photos of the place, that when he took a photo, and it's, so once again, this is this concept which is really interesting because we are we know that, like, when they're looking at each other, they're seeing Tess and oh my god, I can't remember what
Oh,
Nanon's character's
popcorn.
name is. Pakon,
Fun,
yeah.
fun.
Or Tan, yeah. We're seeing Tess and Tan, and they're seeing Tess and Tan, but like, but they're not really as well, because I think they're not paying too much attention to that. So the fact
Mhm,
that he chooses to take a photo of him is
mhm,
interesting,
mhm,
but Puin's reaction to that is even way more interesting. Like,
mhm.
wow, does he have like
Issues.
ha- issues about that? Yeah, for sure. It's very,
Mhm.
very interesting.
Yeah, because he mentions don't judge a book by its cover. Like it's still bothering him, even though he's is in someone else's body. It's still something
Yeah.
that he thinks about. It's still something that he's concerned about.
Well, I mean, it's the thing, isn't it? Like, not every. I mean, obviously, probably people have always told him like how good looking he is and
Yeah.
how, like, hot he is, or like want him because of the way he looks or whatever. And we don't always see what other people see. Like, more, we like definitely don't see what other people see. Like, people will say stuff to us about our appearance or our personality even,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Oh, you're just like this," or "Oh, when I look at you, I think this," or whatever. And like, sometimes it's super offensive to us because we don't feel that ourselves, and then
Hmm.
other times we're surprised that people look at us and see that, because that is something that we don't see in ourselves.
Or skeptical
Um,
because it makes us feel like maybe they're just wrong, maybe they're delusional and they don't see us for who we truly are.
I think
So
that too. I think
we
that
don't even
too, and I
trust
think
them.
there's a little bit of, are you like being serious, or are you just
Hmm.
like telling me what you think I need to hear or I want to hear, or are you just blowing smoke up my ass, basically?
Yeah.
Like, I've always had that reaction when people were like, "Oh, you're so pretty." I'm like, "No." Um, but at the core, I don't think I'm ugly either. But I just, when someone gives me a compliment, I feel very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, me
So
too. Especially when it's a
yeah,
compliment, when it's about something that I do, when it's about something that I create.
really, that's so
Yeah.
interesting to me because I'm most uncomfortable when people talk about the way I look. Yet I'm someone who doesn't really have hang-ups about the way I look. Like I don't think about that. Like I don't sit at home and go, oh, like I wish I was prettier, or I wish I was thinner, or I wish I was like whatever. Like I'm kind of like, this is how I am. But if
Mm.
someone gives me a compliment or something, I'm like very, very uncomfortable. If someone compliments me on something I've created or I've done, it depends on what it is and depends on how kind they are, I guess. But
Mhm.
I don't have the same reaction. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I value people's compliments more when it's something that my brain has created than something that I have absolutely no control over. Like the way I look, for example.
For me, it's more like I don't care that much about if you think I'm pretty or if you don't think I'm pretty. I'm like, yeah, cool. Whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm the same too. Like I don't think I have an issue with it either way, but like if someone compliments me, it makes me feel weird.
Hmm.
Like if someone like like you're walking down the street and someone yells out something rude and really nasty to you, that's never bothered me. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Up yours,
Hmm.
dickhead. But like, but if someone says to me, oh, like because I wear glasses, oh, you're really pretty when you don't wear your glasses. Well, first off, that's a backhanded comment, and I'm a bit like up yours. But like also, it's like, yeah,
Mm.
why are you talking about? Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. It's just one of those things for me
yeah.
personally. If
Hmm.
someone's like, "Oh wow, you made this! Oh my god, this is so cool!" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm so clever."
I guess I just while I was growing up, always, and I was in a situation where people sometimes assumed that I received praise for things that I was not responsible for. And the only thing that kept me, like, gave me confidence, it was when I received those compliments from people who had absolutely, who didn't know me, who didn't know who I was, and
Hmm.
who, like, or in contests, or outside of of the
Of your
um
world, yeah,
yes, exactly. So that's when it mattered. And like,
yeah,
why would that person had that reaction? It does, like, why would they want me to feel better? They don't know me.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. No, I get that. It's funny
yeah.
actually that you bring that up because we were talking today, like my sister and husband were over and we were talking about just various things. And my mum has the the screensaver that comes up on your TV and that shows like photos or whatever. And there was this really cool picture that came up. And I was like, oh, I took a picture like that once. And my brother-in-law wanted to see it, so I went and got my phone and I showed it to him. It was on my Instagram. And I said, "Oh, funny story. Like I got asked if someone could use this for something, and it was like for a brochure for something that was like a free thing, like a touristy thing that you put out for this particular area." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Sure, no problem." I had to sign a waiver or whatever. And he said to me, "Did you make money?" I'm like, "No, because it's a free publication. Like it costs them money to put it out, but it's like whatever." And but I just thought it was cool that someone who like had just been obviously looking on Instagram and looking at tags for that particular location had found my photo and thought it was good enough to be used in a brochure. um and he goes, "Oh, it's a really good photo." He's like, but I like it's I'm like, it didn't mean the same thing as like a complete stranger being like, "Wow, this is really good, can we use it?" Like it's that sort of thing, I think, because they don't, like it's just, I mean, I think it's a good photo. I think it's not, I would not necessarily say that I think it's a good photo, but I think it's a cool photo because it's like a picture of like this glass light things coming from a ceiling of a mall where it's like the roof is made of glass. It's like, it's just the actual photo is interesting because what I took it of was interesting, if that makes any sense. It's not
Mhm.
like that I think I took a brilliant photo. It's just
Mhm.
that was a great look, like that's why I took a photo of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just it's interesting when, yeah, when you said like when the person doesn't know you or something, when you get a compliment from someone who knows nothing about you or where you come from or what your background is. And
And they
you
like
know
something, yeah, and they
yeah,
compliment you, because there are many times when people who knew me said stuff like, "Oh, I thought you weren't actually good. I thought it was just like that
uh
because
yeah,
because of reasons."
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, no, and I get that they just make assumptions about you
yeah.
based on aspects of your life or whatever and stuff like that. And I also feel like as well when people know you, um or they like you, or like it's to do with something that you're maybe it's something like sometimes it feels like they want something from you as well. So it's like how genuine are they being about like how good I am or like whatever. So
Mm.
it's interesting to think that he really has these issues based on the way he looks when he doesn't even look that way anymore.
Yeah, it's really something that messed him up. It's really
Yeah,
something that
it's so ingrained in him.
holds him back, yeah, from
Mm.
being happy.
Mhm. Yeah.
So then we
So
switch to the scene where they talk about, oh, and again, he's like, oh, I got a call. We need to go to the script meeting. And Taylor's like, why do I have to go? And Finn is like, reasons, baby,
yeah.
reasons.
Mhm. Well, he's like, I'm hopeless. I don't know how to do this, which is a valid thing because I mean, he's somebody who this is another thing that maybe perhaps gives him issues as well. Like if you're someone, I often wonder this about actors and stuff. It's always interesting when you see them do interviews and that some of them are really shy and don't talk very well. You know what I mean? Like if they're in the industry for a long time, they get better. But
Hmm.
sometimes like a new one will come out or something, an actor or actress or whatever, and
Hmm.
they're like the interview is so awkward and you just feel
Hmm.
really bad for them. And
Hmm.
it's like, is it because they spend their lives like with people handing them what to say? Like someone has given you the script. This is what you need to say. This is what you need to
Hmm.
do. This is like your entire life, basically. And so like he's someone who's used to being handed what he needs to
Well,
say, and now he has to.
maybe it also makes you feel like you yourself, the way you are, is not good enough. You need to
Yeah,
be someone else. You need to pretend like you're someone else, because otherwise people will not accept you.
yeah. And
People
I
only
suppose
like
as
this
well,
image of you,
yeah, I suppose
which is
as
a
well,
bit.
if you're someone who enjoys doing that too, like more than you enjoy your own life, then that would make you feel insecure about like doing things in your own life as well. So it's interesting that he's like, I can't do this. Like you know, do I have anything to say? Like
Mhm,
because I mean it's fair enough. I mean, he's dropped into a life where I mean Tale is pretty lucky because his is pretty similar to what he wants to do.
mhm.
He at least has a knowledge of the industry. And you could say the same for Poon. He has a knowledge of the industry, but like it's very different, like acting versus writing the script, creating the script.
But also,
Like they,
Tale has this core strength inside him. He has this motivation and optimism, and if he wants to do something, he will do it. He will find ways. He will not rest until he does it.
mm.
And
Well, I think.
you have
Sorry,
to be
continue.
confident, and you have to have like probably a good support system in order to become a person like that. And
Mm.
Pin did not have that, and he's kind of hopeless. And it
Yeah,
does not help when you're trying to do something new, when you don't
yeah.
have
Well,
that confidence.
yeah. Well, that's right. And I mean, this um this is why he takes him as well too, besides like your cute little romantic notion of like them wanting to spend time together.
Yeah.
He does it because you know this is what I was talking about, like Tale offered to be his person, so now he's like, okay, come and be my person because I need you to be there. And Tale might have been like, well, that's not really what I was talking about, but okay. So off they go to the script writing meeting.
I like how they were told that Pin opted for a happy ending, and Tale chose to the story to have a sad ending. And Pin looks at Tale like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why don't you want a happy ending?"
I know, I must admit, I've like literally written in my notes Tale wanting a sad ending because he's not into love. Ha ha ha. Okay then. Because I'm just like, let's see how that works out for you. But then I'm just like, oh, I'm like, I got so frustrated about the conversation they had next about the whole if you can't decide on a happy or a sad ending, that you make them separate for a really long time, bring them back together, and then make it an open ending. Can I just say right now, nobody fucking wants that. And if you do, okay, maybe some people do. But like I do not want that. I never ever ever want that. GMM, please stop doing that.
You
I'll
you
just
heard the explanation. It's because they cannot decide amongst themselves what they want, so they
give
just.
them a fucking happy ending. We're not watching like this because we want to see like trauma. Like we have trauma in our daily lives. That's why we're watching this. We want to get away from our trauma. Like, we're okay. We're okay if you torture the characters from episode 1 to like episode 10 or whatever, or like episode 9, but then give us like 3 episodes or something where they're actually fucking happy, and let us end with the idea that like their life is at least better than ours. And they're gonna have a happy ending. Like, it's not that much to ask. It's really not that hard. Seriously.
So then they talk about the presentation, and Poon is suddenly dying dramatically, and the friends are like, "Oh, please, you will do it." And he's like, "Okay, I will do it." See how I simplified that scene, which was kind of funny. They were had just coughed like suddenly, and
But yeah, that
then
frustrated me. The exchange, the explanation and everything just frustrated me.
what the
But yeah,
explanation to the open ending.
yeah, like why they let's do it this way, because they can't decide. And I'm now thinking about all of the BLs that are like that. Well, not even just BLs, like K dramas, like any dramas where they separate the couple for a long period of time, make it really painful for no real reason, and then give you like
An
half an
open
hour
ending.
of resolution
An
with
open,
like an
it's worse,
open
an open
end,
ending.
with an open ending. And it's just
Yeah.
like, why? Like, I want those 16 hours or 13 hours of my life back. Like, you owe me. Give me my time back. My time is valuable. So yeah, I found the scene really like frustrating from that perspective, but I did like it because I kind of feel like there was a bit of making fun of it. But
Mhm.
I vaguely remember a conversation that you had in a chat. I reckon that there is a period in the future of this, I think, where they separate, right? Maybe don't confirm it for me. Let's just wait and get it. But I kind of feel like they're making fun of like the genre, but also themselves in this scene, potentially. So
So then,
you're like, moving on before I upset you more. Yes, let's
so
do that.
then they find out that Poon needs to do a presentation, and Tale is worried for him, and he asks, "Well, let me help you." And Poon is like, "No, that's fine. I can do it by myself. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, but whatever." And I feel like at this point, the the
The only issue I had with this scene is when he was like, I don't even know what a tagline is. It's like, he's like an actor. He would know he at the very least would know what a tagline is,
no, I
because
feel
like
like
usually they have to say it. You know what I mean? Like, or it's at least put on all the movie posters or something. Like, there's no way he wouldn't know what a tagline is.
he later there's a moment when later he says something like, "Oh, I can be a director because I was an actor," like blah blah blah. So that, but at that moment he already cares about the project, he cares about the friends. But here it's like he gets dragged into something that he's not ready to commit to, and he
Yeah,
acts all aloof and, "Oh yeah, I don't care." Like he was only interested in meeting Talay, but not so
mm.
much in actually investing into this live and connecting with the friends and
Which is
putting his heart in the
interesting.
project.
Which is interesting when you think about the fact that like potentially he's not going to want to go back to his old world. He needs to create a new one. Here's one already served to you on a platter. Like, you might as well try it out for a while before you decide whether you hate it or not. Like,
Yeah,
you have
but it's
options
hard
here.
for someone who only knows crappiness. Like you go back to your
Yeah,
default mod. Talay
yeah,
starts, working for stuff. He starts doing things, thinking how to do this better, how to blah blah, because it's his way of being. But for Queen being uh just, I don't want to say hopeless, but desperate, and not trying not to care about things because it just hurts too much when
yeah. When he
it
gets let down.
yeah, something has to happen for him to decide consciously that if he wants things to turn out differently, he must behave differently.
Yeah.
which does,
Mm-mm.
because he gets arrested for drunk driving, and he does not show up to the presentation, and Tess's dad gets mad at
Mad.
LA. Yeah.
Mm.
So that was funny the way he reacts to Tale, calling him Terak,
Tirak.
darling.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
must say though, before we get to that part, the drunk thing, I wasn't expecting it.
Mhm.
And it's like, and I have to say, at this point, I was like, okay, none of this is familiar to me.
Oh.
I had not seen any of it, or I do not remember any of it, which means that I'm thinking I really have only seen 2 episodes, because it's so weird to me otherwise, because you think I would remember the very beginning of the episode if nothing else. Like, I wouldn't have,
Mhm.
if I watched it and gone to sleep, I would have watched the first part. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I would have watched a few minutes of it before I drifted off.
Mhm.
And I don't remember any of this first part at all. So I don't think I've seen episode 3. Um, so that was one thing. The other thing was,
Darling.
um, yeah, him calling him darling. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Again, he struggled to come up with the tagline. So he got drunk. You know what I really liked as well is I liked where he was complaining, because he was like, who knew that this body was such a lightweight? Like,
Uh-huh.
he's just like, clearly he's used to drinking more alcohol and
Uh-huh.
not having a reaction.
Uh-huh.
Um and so I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, what
And
I
I
thought was funny was when he was looking for the drive, he was
Oh
looking
yes,
in his
in
bag.
a USB, and he put his hand in Tale's pocket, and he's like, "I don't know where it is. I must not have it." Yeah, I laughed so loud at that bit. I was just like, it was so funny, especially because Tale's like thoroughly disgusted with him in this scene, and but he's like really cute. Like, he's like a cat. He is like, I mean, from their perspective, like he's just done this horrible thing that could potentially have like thrown a huge like wrench in all of their dreams.
Yeah.
But he is a very funny, cute drunk here.
Mhm.
So it's really hard not to find him endearing,
Yeah, he's
even
like,
though
oh, more time to prepare a new presentation. Yeah, darling.
he's like, I totally did us all a favor, and they're all like, "Fuck you." But yeah, no, the bit where he's looking for the USB and he reaches into Tale's pocket was so funny.
Yeah, and then the friends leave because they're disappointed. And I love the moment. I really love the moment when you focus on Tale's face once that happens, because you can see it on his face that he is thinking about his own life and how Tess probably does this to his friends. This is
Mm,
probably how Tess messes up his life. He
yeah,
looks at Pin and he probably sees Tess, because Tess is the one who gets drunk, who, you know, gets
does
into
stupid stuff.
fights, does not
Mm,
care about anything, messes things up. Clearly, he does not care about people a lot.
mm.
So there's this expression on his face of sadness and
Or he's using the potential for this, the offside of this. I mean, not from Tale's perspective, but the offshoot of this is that Tessa's behavior could very much be very similar to why Poon is behaving the way he's behaving. Like, they both have issues, is what I'm coming at.
yeah,
You're like, way to
that's
state
true.
the obvious.
So let's go watch part two.
Yes, part 2. Let's do it.
Part two. I really love this part. And you know what's funny? I tried watching it before I really got into it, the series,
Mm.
and I skipped the part with the friends because I was not interested at all. So, and I didn't care about them. And then when I actually watched it, I started caring about them. I started liking them. And then I was like, oh, so you're actually supposed to watch it in order to care. That's interesting.
Yes,
Totally relate.
Queen of skipping bits. You're meant to watch the whole show to get the value. It's funny because I actually haven't made many notes. I'm not sure what I'm gonna have to say necessarily, but about this part, and it was not because anything was lacking. It was because I was like just paying attention to what was happening. You know what I mean? Like I just got
Mhm.
sucked in. What I
Mhm.
will say though is at the very beginning I counted 4 ads just for our
Oh,
tally. I was like, wow, just one after another. Canon. I was like, wow, okay, four. Interesting. Um so yeah, so
yeah,
we start the scene with Pun.
been talking.
Mm.
Yeah, so he says the universe is so cool. He's getting into it. He's like, oh, there are things to enjoy here. There are like he's having this he's living right now probably with oh god, what is that philosophy when you are just enjoying things and not really caring about anything else? What is it called?
I believe the
Hedonistic.
youth. I
Hedonistic.
believe. I believe the youth call it YOLO.
No,
I
I
say
mean
I say YOLO, but that's not my. I say youth, but that's just because that's like not something I've ever said. Seriously, that's not what you were talking about. No, what were you talking about?
I was talking about being hedonistic.
Ah, yes.
Self-indulgent, engaged in the pursuit of just googled it to check if I was right. If to check if I was spelling it correctly. Yes. So
Yeah, hedonistic. Yeah.
here right
I
now,
mean,
and
he's an orgy or two short of being hedonistic, in my personal opinion. But like, it kind of works.
yeah. Oh, and also I remembered like you keep comparing Pin to Tess and saying that because you developed compassion for Tess.
I did. I got
I
attached to
haven't.
characters we're never gonna see.
I'm not because, and I feel like they're different. Tess has people around him. I cannot put them on the same,
I mean, he does, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have problems just because you have people who love you. Like that's not how like life works.
yeah, no, this is not what I'm saying, but he has people, he has a family, he has friends who clearly care about him, and I think he cares about them as well.
Mm.
But Boone is completely alone. He has no one.
I know. I
And I
had
think
that
it makes things different.
realization. I had that realization at the end of this scene when he makes up with the friends that
Mhm.
I'm actually really invested in this friendship group, and I think I really like this friendship group, and it's going to be really sad when he goes back because he's not going to have this friendship group, right?
Yeah.
So
Uh
that made me
yes.
sad.
And they keep talking about, and he's like, oh, this is so cool. I actually never lived for myself. This is nice. I can sleep well. I can eat things that I want. I can just relax. And Talia is like, no, I did not mean this. I meant you must live the life of the body to the fullest. Because
Mm.
wouldn't you be sad if Pacorn ruined your life? And we focus on Pin's face, and he is like,
Does Parkour make
okay.
friends for him? I made myself depressed before and I just got happy at that thought. Does Tun make friends for him? Don't tell me.
I won't tell you. Well, he looks skeptical. It's like, no, he doesn't really care because
I hope he
there's
makes
nothing.
friends for him. I'm sorry. I can't let it go.
Yeah, this is what he says to Tale when he looks at him and he says, I'm sorry. And I feel like he says it because he does not really care about his life, but I think he maybe understood that what it meant for Tale to see this unravel
Yeah,
in front of his eyes.
I don't think. I think it's still at this point in time. I think he's apologizing to Tale because he disappointed him as well because he didn't
Yeah,
do what Tale wanted him to do or what he expected him to do. I don't think he hasn't really grasped the concept of the fact that like this is someone's life that you're messing with, and that you have a kind of a responsibility to not completely fuck that up for them. On the idea that this is temporary, and if it's not temporary, well, like you still have to live this life, like. But he gets it. He does get it because, of course, we get the scene where he reads Tun's diary, and that
I
makes it
think
very
maybe
real.
he might have started to get it, and then he went home and he really dived into Acorn's life, and which very convenient to have to for there to be a diary. Nice.
Yeah.
He tries to
Well,
call
and
the friend.
It does, but I mean, look, let's face it, Ton does appear like the kind of person who would have a diary. I believed that plot point. I didn't
Yeah,
find it was weird or
what
anything.
kind of, no, I didn't think it was weird. I just thought it's nice. What kind of person does have a diary, Zoe?
I don't know, someone who's like, I don't know, I have one. I've never written in it.
No, I'm very curious about your answer because I did have diaries, lots of
I
them.
used to have diaries as well. I don't know what I mean by that. I just he's thoughtful and he is like someone who he said something. There was something in the one of the previous episodes where he talked about like being interested in everything,
Hmm.
like this idea of like I guess writing down your
Everything is
observations.
valuable.
Yeah,
Like
everything has
everything is
value.
valuable.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
and that's kind of what I mean. So I'm the same. I used to have one. I do actually have them. Like people give them to me and stuff. Um, and sometimes I start writing in them, and then I'm just like, ugh, who's interested in anything I have to say? She says during a podcast. But my problem is I'm
Well, you're
too
not
lazy.
writing. You don't
Yeah,
write a diary with the idea that someone else will read it. You
I
write
know,
it because
right? But I mean, like, I get the problem is with me. I get to the point where I'm like, it's in my head anyway. Like, why am I writing it down on a piece of paper?
to
And if
get it
you,
out of your head.
yeah, maybe then I need to write down a bunch of children's songs that I need to get rid of to clear up space for other more important stuff. Because hopefully that will get them out of the head. But no, like, I don't know. It's weird to me. I feel like if you write something down, it's like you're leaving it behind for someone else. But my main reason why I don't do it these days is because I'm just too lazy. Like I would be more inclined to do, once again, the podcast, but do an oral diary than I would be to do a writing one. Like I'm like, can I dictate this? So I'm a talker, so I feel like that would be something more that I would do these days. But when I was younger, I used to write a lot. Like I would have notebooks full of thoughts and poems and song lyrics and pretty much everything that happened to me um is in those books.
So, which is
So
very helpful. If it would be very helpful for someone if they got transported into your body, which is
yeah,
what happened in this series. Oh,
yeah.
did you
So
notice
so
there's an
so the
aquarium on the rooftop?
yeah, the aquarium. Yeah, I know. Like I had last Twilight like flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? Trauma flashbacks. Um, it's funny. Yeah, if somebody wakes up in my body, just listen to this podcast because I do. There's a lot of story time with Zoe in this. You'll learn about me. Um, but yeah. So the other thing I noticed about this
See,
scene as well is that his room is blue.
yes, yes,
It's
me too. I
so
had a note
blue.
about it.
It's so blue in his room. Like all of
So
the
the
clothes,
sadness,
the bedding, the lighting from the aquarium, like
the
everything's blue.
loneliness,
Mhm.
sadness and loneliness. Yeah. So he sees that Pacorn actually had a life which was rich with experiences and people who he cared
Friendship.
about and who cared about him. And he had a dream. It's not just an empty task of a body that he just can cling onto and do
Yeah.
whatever he
I think
wants.
I
He
think the
is,
thing I think the thing though was like besides all of that, like the strongest thread that I got through this entire thing was the friendship.
yeah.
And the way he potentially could have destroyed his future by doing what he did where he stood up for Up, Neo's character's screenplay, because he
Hmm.
was so angry at
Hmm.
like the way they were talking about him and like this friendship that they have, this bond that like that is the thing that he was missing. I think like I feel like he gets the idea of passion and a career and everything.
Yeah,
It's more real after, like what you're saying, it's more real to him after reading this, but I think the thread that really gets to him, the thing that really upsets him, is the friendship side of things, because these are
definitely,
people and these are
definitely.
people that he's met, these are people that he's witnessed their anger, and like he had tried to contact them to no avail, before reading the diary, didn't he? And so like he's getting a taste of like what it really means, like what he did, because it's affected people like Tan is, yeah, Tan obviously he's real
Oh, he's
because
affected. You said something, and I was like, yes, because usually I feel like in his life, if he did something, if he did something to himself, if he, behaved in a certain way, he did not have bonds with people to affect someone else, to drag them after him. In this
Yeah.
life, he cannot do that. If he
No,
does, if he does not care about himself, he also hurts other people.
that's right. And the thing with Tan is like, yes, okay, Tan is real to him, well, as real to him as he is when he looks in the mirror, because he's seeing his face, he's seeing Tan's face. But like, he's not real, like, but whereas Up and I forget what the other friend's name is, you
Oh,
said
oh, ooh,
Ooh,
ooh, I think.
ooh,
Hmm.
ooh, Up and Ooh, are real to him. He's spent time with them. He's talked to them. He's felt their, affection and their friendship
Hmm.
and their anger. And now he's like read about the depths of that as well. And also with Tale's disappointment, like it's interesting because that is what's bothering him when they meet back up again. It's clear, like, he's ready to do the right thing, he's ready to work and to give it a go and try and all the rest of it. But the thing that's upsetting him is this, the fact that they're not talking to him, that they won't respond to him.
He thinks maybe he's already ruined this. He doesn't
Yeah.
know how to handle this stuff.
No, and he doesn't know, I think, how to, I guess, apologize or how to approach them. It's interesting that
Yeah.
there's this bit in this scene where, because of course Tale gets him to take him to the riverside to try and cheer him up, and but I like, there's a line where he says that he can't talk to them for him. I really
Yeah.
like that because it's funny. Like, I'm one of those people where you come and you tell me a problem. I mean, like, half my job is like problem solving. So like, someone, tells me a problem and straight away I'm like looking for solutions. You know what I mean? Like, I
Hmm.
can fix this for you, no problem. But like, that's not always what people need from you. Like, this it's probably like the one thing I need to like stop and think about when I'm dealing with people, is that I'm so focused on fixing the problem that I sometimes miss the fact that, like, although this person is having this problem, they haven't come to me for a solution, they just wanted to tell me about it, or they just wanted to talk to somebody, or they just, like, whatever, a million different things. But like, it's not always, or sometimes you see somebody who, like, one of the things I learned from doing like care work and nursing and stuff like that is you see people struggle all the time. You know what I mean? And it's so hard because you want to help them, and you like, so you want to do it for them. You can't do it for them. Like, they need to do it for themselves. And so I really, really liked this line. I thought it was a really good line.
But
Um,
even before that, when Quinn approaches him, he's closed up. He's not used to sharing his emotions, to sharing his pain with someone. So Talay has to reach out to him and ask him, like, try to make him smile at first, because this is basically the first step. Because I think there were studies or something that say that if you smile, you do feel a little bit better.
mm,
So he is trying so hard to get him to open up, and when he does, he listens. So
yeah.
he made both the steps, or the opening. He took care of Quinn opening up and also telling him that I'm not going to resolve this for you, but
Yeah,
I'm here
you
for
just
you.
need, yeah, I'm here, and you need to be earnest. You need to be you need to be sincere when you apologize. As long as you're sincere and you tell the truth, like, 9 times out of 10, you'll fix the problem. And what I liked about it was interesting to me. It's a good commentary, I guess, on Pun's character, is that when Tale first gets there, he's clearly upset, and
Hmm.
Tale's response is like, what's going on with you? And he's like, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
He's like, I need you to help me do this. Like, he asked Tale to help him do the thing that he knows he can fix. So
Hmm.
he doesn't want to in the beginning focus on the thing that he's pretty sure, as he said, he may have broken for good. So he doesn't want to address that. He wants to try and work on the thing that he knows he can do something about. And
But
then,
also because maybe he's not used to relying emotionally on someone.
well, I think that too, but I think it's just one of those things we tend to do that. I mean, look at, like, I mean, or maybe this is just a me thing because I'm like the world's greatest procrastinator, but like, I'll tackle the tasks I know I can do that are easy, or like we tend to do the ones that we like first, or that aren't going to cause us too much trouble, or like whatever. We try and knock those ones off quickly because we know we can, and it's not going to be like we save the hard stuff for later, I guess is what I'm saying. And I feel like that is what he's doing here. Like he's
Well,
avoiding the hard stuff, but Tale won't let
from
him
from
avoid
my
it.
point of view, he is not opening up because never really had people that he could rely on and he could share his hardships with.
Mm,
And when you don't really have that, or when the response is not fulfilling for you, you just don't do that anymore. Especially when you feel the worst.
mm.
When you're at your lowest point, you do not reach out to people.
No, well, but then as I said, that goes into like, so he's addressing is the stuff that he can address. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he's avoiding everything else. But yeah, so and of course Tale makes him smile because he does. um,
Oh, what I really, really liked when Tele say goodbye to misbehaving Tan and start over. And I doubt Tale knows what an impact these words have on Poon, because what happens and what gets proven to Poon in this situation is that you can be, a good boy in this world, and it will be rewarding actually. Things will work out for you and you will feel good, something that did not happen in his old life.
mm, I can't comment on that because I haven't seen his old life just yet. But yeah, so I just what I do want to say is I have two things like for the. Did you have anything that you wanted to say about that scene with them, or are you ready to move on to the next scene?
We're not seeing his whole life, but I think if you're alone, it basically proves the fact that it did not work for him in the past. That
Mm.
even if he tried to reach out to people, maybe it did not work
Yeah,
out.
I'm more responding to your comment about being a good boy.
Well, I meant good boy, referring to Tale saying, say goodbye to misbehaving Tan, because you can rephrase it to being a good boy. It's more about just trying your best to connect with people, trying to put effort
Mm,
into things that maybe you thought were hopeless.
yes.
I really like the way I really like the way ooh says the old Tan has died, and I'm like,
Yeah. It,
Telefit cannot come to the phone right now.
yeah. It's like, yes, you just hit the nail right on the head. There's two things, although actually there's several things about this scene, but two things in particular I wanted to mention, and neither of them really have anything to do with the story or like the characters or anything. The first one is that the Thai written language is so interesting to me. Like I really want to learn how to read it and write it just because I feel like it defies all understanding for me. And I want to know all of its secrets. So
Yeah.
that's just it. Like I mean I would like to learn how to speak Thai and understand it, but like like I can speak and understand Japanese, but and I can write it to a certain extent, but I'm like, kanji is hard. But
Yeah, it
but
kind of
like,
feels like if you learn to read Thai letters, it just opens up another dimension.
yeah,
You'll be
because
able to see the first image.
it looks so fantastical. Like it just
Uh-huh.
looks like it's not real. Like I don't know how to explain it. I love it. It's really pretty. And so yeah, I really very much would like to learn its secrets. The other thing is, oh my god, the cafe with the swing chairs. I want a cafe with swing chairs. I love the
Mhm.
swing. Like I'm the person who
Although,
goes to the
what if you
kitchen.
get too excited? I do tend to swing, not swing, but move a lot when I'm excited. And what if you have a cup of coffee in your hands and you start swinging and just pours all over you? So it is dangerous.
Well, I think if you're gonna swing, you put your coffee on the table. But like, I'm the
Yeah,
kind of
but what if
person.
you're me?
Well, true, but I'm the kind of person who I'm like, I'll go for a walk. And I'll be like, okay, I'm going for a walk, and I'll go and I walk. There's a park nearby as well that I kind of cut through, and there's a kids' playground. And if there are no kids on that playground, then I'm on the swings for like 20 minutes and then I continue my walk. Um, and it's like my Fitbit will be like, "This took you longer than last time." It's like, "Yeah, I was swinging, all right, leave me alone." Um, but yeah, so the idea of like a swing chair, I just think that's a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I'm sad that I don't know of a cafe in my city that has anything that fun in it. So they were two takeaways that have nothing to do with anything. The other thing I wanted to say is like I know everybody talks about how expressive C's eyes are, and I'm not dissing that. I'm not saying that that's not the case. But oh my god, Jimmy's eyes in this scene where the friends accept him and accept his apology and like offer him an olive branch. He's so happy and like so excited that they've forgiven him, and it's just so friggin' cute. And his eyes are
There's
just
this
like,
childlike vulnerability which is almost painful on his face when he shows his emotions
yeah.
when he
And he
plays
just, and
Ken.
his
And
eyes,
it's
like, I mean, like
film.
when he did it when he was Mork as well in Last Twilight. Like
But
he
not
killed
so
me.
much. It was an expression of love and softness, but here it's like this uncomfortable vulnerability almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I just loved it. I just thought it was really, really good. So I'm like,
Mhm.
wow. I feel like as I said, I have no issue with people talking about how expressive C's eye, but I think people
Oh God,
C's
it
eyes
was
are.
not.
But I
We
feel
did
like,
not see the scenes that are more interesting with C's eyes yet. So
people should be mentioning Jimmy's eyes as well because I feel like they're just interesting too.
I just feel like, it's kind of obvious with Jimmy, like, but C, especially because he played Day, and
Mm.
it was a character that it was probably very hard to play because he could not do anything with his eyes, and plus his character was kind of a dick, so he did not.
I think there were moments though in Last Twilight where he did really, really well. Like, I mean, I feel like he did such a good job with his eyes in Last Twilight in having that, like, because he had to do the unfocused thing, where you're not really
Yeah,
looking at anything. But he also, there were definitely some scenes, especially when he was vulnerable or whatever, where you could see that in his eyes at the same time. I think he did a really good job actually.
that,
Um,
but I feel like it's not mentioned enough because everyone kept talking about Monk, and I love, come on, but I just want to mention, and plus, he this is his second role playing a main character, and he's how old was he, like 22 or 21, and his first role was a minor role in a series. So
well,
considering all this,
this is the show though that where people first started talking about his expressive eyes, isn't it? This particular show, vice
I
versa.
don't know. I started talking about it because I started watching Vice Versa, and I watched um Last Twilight. What people are you talking about?
No, no, probably just you.
Yeah, so
Well, I know that people say he has expressive eyes because you told me that, so that's why I'm like, so I don't know what people, Morellen. I'm just kidding. I think didn't you
you
say
go.
the director? Didn't you say the director of?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he said I remember watching an interview where he said he liked to do close-ups with C because he had expressive eyes.
Is that the director of Vice Versa who said
Fix.
that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, so there you go. So then the see, I pay attention when you say things. um, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing those scenes, especially because you have talked about the fact that you agree with that statement. So
I do
um,
agree with that statement.
mm, so I'm looking forward to it too.
Oh, so this scene when he comes up to he writes on the glass wall, which oh God, who is going to clean that up? But anyway, it gives me
I think
theory
it's
of
probably
love.
those like I think it's probably those textures that you can write on glass and shit with, and it comes off really easy with water.
Oh, yeah, let's hope so. So it gives me
It'd be a really dick move to go up there and do it on with permanent marker.
considering that they were filming a scene that, yeah, that's most probably that's what they used.
I feel
Because they
I feel like the fact that the other two had a pen as well, like the same, makes me think it's probably something that people just do in that world because like the paper is see through, so like you would
yeah,
look at windows and be like I
yeah,
bet
I
you
had
in
the
this
same
world,
thoughts.
I bet you in
I had
this
the same
world,
thoughts.
like when there's graffiti, they don't have graffiti on the building, they graffiti on the windows because
Yeah,
because that is the template. Like that is it's the clear thing. That's where you would write. That's where you would draw your
I,
picture.
I had the same thought was actually. Anyway, so it gave me a theory of love feelings. It
Mm.
made me think of an old movie where a character goes to make like a big romantic gesture or like a romantic gesture in public to apologize or
Yeah,
express
and
their
it was so
feelings.
funny because it was for friendship. I thought the same thing. I thought it was a very romantic idea. And you can do that with friendship though too, I think. Like I
Yeah.
don't think there's, anything wrong with that. But yeah, I agree. I thought it was a nice way to do it. Um
Yeah. And then
Especially
he,
because there was like literally kind of like a wall between them. They had put a barrier between them. And so his response to Tale saying to him, be sincere in your apology,
Mhm,
wasn't get angry and like try and make them talk to you or like get frustrated and like basically try and break down that wall. It was this like soft touch of like, letting them know that you're here and this is how you feel, and and when they didn't really
mhm.
react to that, although they kind of did, you could see um Neo was better, I feel like, at and that's not better, like I'm not saying he was better at this, I'm just saying like his character was better at kind of like being
His character was
serious.
worse at hiding his feelings.
No, I thought
Is
he
this
was
what you're
better.
saying?
I thought the
Oh,
other
oh, I
guy,
see.
I don't know what his ow
Oh,
ow ow
oh,
oh oh
oh, good.
the vowel sounds of A L U. Nah. I need to look up the actor's name because he's also in We Are, which I just started watching, and
Mm,
I feel like I kind of saw like a little tiny smile, like maybe he was like not a smile, but like the hint of a smile. Like
mhm,
he was kind of touched, but like they were still mad.
mhm,
But I like how they kind of, when he came into the room, because he was like, all right, I'll give it one more go, and he got
yeah,
out the USB and he's like, everything's on here, and they still left him, like. But it was interesting. It's like it was interesting that they have been friends long enough and that to know to get up at the same time and leave him there only to like be teasing him.
mhm,
um which is something you have with friends when you like, you've been friends for a really long time. You have that kind of like
mhm,
almost um unconscious communication where you just like, this is a good idea, let's do this.
mhm,
Like they both had the same idea basically. But
mhm.
yeah, and he was like a lost puppy for a second there. What I did like is that they they showcased the up and out's characters really interest, like in a fun way too, by showing like their response to him, in that like they both got up and left, so they
Mhm.
like they have things in common, but then they also showed us that they're slightly different. So you had ow 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 ow
Don't ask me.
I'm saying it wrong, I'm so sorry, I feel like I should like do a written apology somewhere. Anyway, they have his character basically say, let's go eat. Like, so he's
Mhm.
extending the olive branch, and then you have Up, Neo's character, who's like super cheeky, be like, you're paying. Like, this is your
Oh, because
punishment. Like, we
we
forgive
had
you,
that.
but your punishment is that you're paying.
It makes sense because when we find out about them, Up writes comedy and O writes social satire and Tess writes romantic movies. So this scene fits
All of their
the way they
characters.
write stories, yeah, very
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Oh, actually, I really liked how he brought up their goal, not their goal, but the thing that drives them. How we'll
Yes.
make 26 pictures, be sorry for
Regret.
bad mouthing
Yeah.
us. Yeah. So
So, and
now he's in the
yeah.
game. He cares about their
Well, it
goal.
had a twofold purpose, that we see that as the audience, but also he let them know that he was like the old Tun was back, essentially, because
Yeah.
like, how he said Tun is dead. Like, it's like he'd forgotten their goal, he'd forgotten their passion, and then now he's back saying, let's do this. They're gonna regret it. And that would have lit a fire in them.
And it works. The apology works. And I think in Pun's head it's all connected to Tale.
Yeah. And so, as I said, I'm so like I feel like I'm really gonna love this friendship group. I'm really gonna love to see them like grow and develop and everything. And it's gonna be a lot of fun for me until he goes back, and then I'm gonna be really sad unless Tun has been doing his job and making him friends.
Uh, you know,
Uh, I'm like, on one hand, I want you to tell me, but then on the other hand, I don't want you to tell me.
okay.
So I'm like, I
So,
don't know. Am I gonna be sad? No, don't answer that. All right. Well, I mean, I guess the thing is, I can look at it this way, and anyone else who's listening to this who hasn't seen it, we can look at it this way and go, well, if Tan is not making friends on his behalf, then at least when they go back, if him and Tale end up together, Tale's friends will be his friends, hopefully. I don't know. I'm sad now.
all right. So this is it for part one. Thank you for hanging out with us. Follow us on Twitter, on Tumblr, on Spotify. Interact with us.
Yes, and we have a Ko-Fi, which is, if you're interested, you can go and leave a donation there if you want to. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. We've had some really nice, sweet people leave us a donation. We want to say thank you. Shout out to Cass and to Rebecca. It's really nice. It lets us know that you guys are enjoying what we're doing, so it like makes us excited, that we're not just talking to ourselves.
Thank you to the people who reblog our post, who
Yes,
share it with their
comments.
friends,
Yeah,
people who comment and interact with us. It means so much, and it gives me energy to do things.
it really
Yeah.
does. When we see
Yeah.
someone's like followed us or like is like now subscribed or any of those things, or even just like when we see someone has listened to we get so excited. I do like little I leave little messages from Morella, and I'm like, here you go, let's talk about the analytics.
Yeah. And when
We get all
when
excited when someone listens.
and when someone says, "You made me smile," I listen to this and I clean my house or something like this. It just feels so good. It makes me happy, and it just makes me want to do better and give more, and it feels like we're doing something that matters.
I know,
So
right?
that's really nice, and
It's exciting for the
thank you
support.
for giving back.
And also, as I said, and people who are too shy to reach out as well, just like as I said, just seeing the listener numbers and that is like we know you're there, and that makes us feel really good too. So thank you so much for all the support.
Thank you.
I can't believe we've been doing this since September.
Wow.
Wow. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm yeah, we're enjoying it. So part 2 for episode 3 of Vice Versa will be up on Saturday, so look out for that as well. And yeah, bye for now.
Bye.